Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwartner, and today we have the great pleasure of meeting with Jason Heidema. He's the CEO of Atrium. Welcome, Jason.
Thanks, Gerhard. Nice to be here.
Tell me a little bit about Atrium. Give me the bird's eye view.
Atrium's a data-driven sales management platform, right? And what that means is that we help sales managers use data to improve team performance. And it's the reality is that sales managers have always aspired, right, to be data-driven in driving team performance. But traditionally, they've lacked what I would say is both the training and the tooling to be super successful there, right? And the best we've really given managers is we used BI tools, CRMs, spreadsheets to create walls of charts. And then we've asked them to use their eyeballs to intuit insights, right? Doing math with our eyeballs, it's pretty difficult. It's not something humans are great at, right? But computers are really good at it. And that's what Atrium can do, right? And so Atrium empowers managers to make smart decisions by providing them answers on who do I coach, right? What activity should I coach them on? What's the solution path look like?
When coaching is done based on objective data, then it's far more effective and you get much better results. Tell us about that.
In an era of data-driven management, right, what you want to be is you want to be intentional, right? You want to be habituated, and you want to always be looking at the precursor metrics, right, to your outputs, right? If you sit and you wait for an output metric to happen, you're probably going to be disappointed by it, right? So having those precursor metrics identified, right, setting goals on them, having systems that monitor those metrics and alert you when things are trending in the wrong direction, right? And having broader systems that are looking for anomalies in data, that's what you need to stay on top of your game. And to your point, be objective. So you're looking at data, not gut feel, right? And certainly not results at the end of the quarter.
One of the things that intrigues me is when salespeople have goals. A lot of sales managers don't hold salespeople's feet to the fire. Do you have, can you automate accountability?
Why are goals important, right? So goals are important because if, we surveyed 400 sales professionals, right, sales managers, and they told us that 95% of them were now in a fully distributed or hybrid mode, right? So in that world, you got to be intentional, you got to build those habits, right? That's what goals gives you, right? And 80% of those sales managers said that. They said, we know that granular goals are critical to sales success. But where do people have struggled with goals, right? So number one, they struggle with identifying goals, right? And they struggle with monitoring those goals and making sure they're executing against it. Insert Atrium, a goal platform that allows you to, number one, provide benchmarks based on historical data for what the right goal levels are, right? Speaking of accountability, right? And then automatically monitoring and alerting teams on progress against those goals so everyone can see where we're at. And so we're paying attention to it, right? So for example, customers like Malwarebytes are using Atrium, again, to be intentional and accountable with those precursor metrics so that they know that they're not going to have an issue that they don't see coming.
Give me sort of a best practice story where you helped a salesperson significantly improve.
We use Atrium in a lot of different ways, right? We use it in our one-on-ones, we use it in our daily stand-up, right? Push Atrium communications out to the entire organization to get transparency and awareness of how things are going. And of course, we use it to coach, right? So what Atrium does is it sits on top of all of our data. It's monitoring hundreds of metrics. It's doing millions of calculations of how those metrics interact with each other, and it's telling where correlations are. And so last week, I got an email from Atrium that said that a given rep was having a conversion rate issue on our third stage in our pipeline, right? And specifically, it was an issue that rep was having that didn't show up in other reps. It also said that around that stage, that rep had called it a talk ratio issue on their calls, right? They were talking a lot more than other reps. So what do we do, right? So one, the rep can see that, right? They can use that data to get better. We can set goals on conversion rate at that specific stage and on the talk ratio. And now in data-driven one-on-ones, we're not managing by gut feel. We're looking at those metrics. We're watching them move. We're coaching on those calls, right, to help that rep move forward.
Fixing issues, right? Like saying, hey, we need to do a better job of lighting up data. Hey, we need to do a better job of closing. We fix the issues rather than kind of trying to be like, hey, what's the issue here? Like, what's driving the underperformance of this rep? Because congratulations, Atrium just tells us that proactively.
It's really fun to do. And then we also use Atrium in one-on-one. So every one-on-one, we're using the Atrium data to basically say, like, how are we performing against our goals?
Would you say that sales management and sales leadership has become more a science than an art?
I think historically, it's been a lot of art, right? Because we just haven't had the tools at our disposal to use science to inform our art, right? And so now we don't have a good excuse for that anymore, all right? And we don't have a good excuse for flying blind. And now we have the data to really direct folks at where we can apply the art to improve that specific metric.
So where's the pushback that you get when companies install Atrium?
All we need to do is show them that 90 seconds after setting up, Atrium is ingesting all the data from the systems automatically. Out of the box, they have hundreds of KPIs that matter. And importantly, now they can sit back. Atrium is going to monitor everything for them. It's going to alert them of anomalies. It's going to point them in the right direction, right, for them to affect change. They might not believe it, but that's what the demo is going to show them. And we do demo on their own data.
That's wonderful. It sounds like it's the sales manager's magic wand to transform a sales organization that's stuck in mediocrity to achieve mastery in a short period of time.
We'll take Magic Wand as the code name.
Thank you so much, Jason. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Great to talk to you too, Garrett.